So like if you thin that out a little bit so it starts a bit lower, closer to the bottom here.
Like I really like the details.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it doesn't show that, sorry.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Mind the Wet Floor, episode 7. My name's Lamont, and today I'm joined by the founders of Cosy Style. Cosy Style is a streetwear brand currently based in the UK. And to my left, I have Mike, and to my right, I have Drix. Say what's up to the camera, guys.
Sup.
Such a ditz. In case you can't tell, there are full members of Pretty Boys Worldwide. Show them your smiles. Look at trying to be cool and everything. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me.
Good to having you.
It's been a while. That was such a terrible handshake. I'm sorry, terrible with handshakes. It's been a while since we've last spoken. So yeah, of course, I wanted to do this because we're obviously collaborating in the future. We're working on some clothes, making a collection that hopefully you guys will get to see really soon. So I thought that it'd be good before we did that for people to get a bit of an idea about what you do, and also for people to go and support you before I even come into the picture. Let you guys, let the people know what you guys are about, where you started, and yeah, let's start from the beginning. How did Cosy Style come about?
So Cosy Style began by doing drop shipping, selling other people's clothes. Basically, we did the marketing, the advertising, and yeah.
Okay. So how did the idea to even like do clothes come about? Because obviously you didn't just start shipping out of nowhere. Where did the interest stem from?
Well, basically we came to the UK from Cyprus, and we saw the culture here was so much different. So everyone was more free, I would say, like wear whatever they want.
That's a Fendi fact.
Yeah. Indeed. And back in Cyprus, it's not like that. So we came from an environment so much different. We came here and saw so much new things. So fell in love with fashion, I would say.
Okay.
So yeah, we started searching for suppliers out of the UK, like Chinese suppliers mainly. You know, the Asian culture clothing.
Yeah.
And hoodies, t-shirts, oversized t-shirts, bucket hats, caps.
Cargo pants.
Right.
Yeah.
So you guys started off doing drop shipping for other companies on the internet. Then, okay, what came about to make you guys decide, okay, now we think it's time for us to leave the drop shipping lane and make our own brand? How did you come up with the name for that?
Go for the name.
So about the name, in my mind I had the idea of wearing something very comfortable, something baggy, something cozy,
Right.
But you feel cool,
Yeah.
you know?
That's right.
something that you wear and you maybe enjoy yourself, express yourself. So yeah,
Okay.
cozy was the last thing.
So besides from the name, how did the business side of things come into play? Like when you decided to stop the drop shipping, how did you form the brand? Did the name come before the brand or after? Like after you decided to stop the drop shipping, or while you were doing from the beginning, that's what you guys were known as. Okay, I didn't actually know that. I'm learning something here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
there's many stuff we didn't talk about.
yeah, it's good. So we have the name, Cosy Style. Start doing drop shipping. How do we then go into, making our own brand and making your own clothes?
So we got to a point where, let's just say we sold enough units, enough clothing to different countries, and we managed to collect an audience, I would say, like from, Portugal, Spain, Dubai, UK, Italy, and some parts of the US.
Yeah.
What's you guys' biggest market? Sorry for interrupting. What do you say is your biggest market? currently, if you know?
Bro,
I would say UK.
UK?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, sorry. Continue. Just wanted to know.
So yeah, we got to the point where we sold enough units, and you know, we collected enough funds. So we said, why not start our own clothing line? Like start with one collection,
Yeah.
get the ball rolling from there.
Okay.
So that's what we did.
Did you guys have any prior experience with design or graphic design or anything
No.
that, well, from the clothes, we'll show you guys the clothes later, from the clothes, it's quite evident that there's a lot of, you know, sketch art and drawings involved and stuff. So did you guys already kind of have an idea about that? Or did you learn it as you went along?
From a very young age, we were into, you know, creative stuff. Like we like to use our hands to make things, like painting and.
We used to do graffitis.
We used to do
Oh, wow.
graffitis.
Okay, I know that.
That's another thing.
I'm learning a lot about you guys.
Yeah.
Used to do graffiti. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And from a very young age, I started using Photoshop to manipulate images. Like, started making pranks for my friends, like changing the bodies, so like adding masks, etc.
Right. Kind of like Cause. What Cause does. With
Yeah. Similar stuff.
In a funny way.
Yeah.
So I got to the point where like I could edit images pretty well. So we started designing images, like manipulating them and making something different out of it.
Okay. Great. So would you say that has helped you guys in your current process now as to your approach to designing, or have you sort of changed the way you approach it when you're making it specifically for clothes? Or is that mindset the same?
Well, it definitely helped with the designs, but business-wise it was different because it was a big learning curve.
Okay.
We didn't know anything about business.
Fair. Yeah.
So how old were we when we came to the UK?
20.
20.
Okay.
Like we got out of the army and came here to the UK for studies,
Okay.
engineering,
Engineering.
and
Definitely.
we didn't know anything about business.
Okay. So
Started
how did you?
researching.
Okay. How did you learn about the business? Obviously, it came with time, but what maybe specific steps did you take? Because someone out there might think, okay, I know I have an idea, I know I'm good at drawing, and I have these ideas that I want to put on clothes, but then how do I get them out to people? Where do I begin? So how did you guys learn about that part of the process in terms of developing an audience, essentially, and building an audience and other stuff that come into play, such as, you know, purchasing, where'd you get the funds to do that kind of stuff? Maybe just get into that a bit more.
So basically, we started, as you know, nowadays, social media is very important. So all the people are there. So the first thing we had to learn was how to approach those people, how basically study social media marketing.
Fair enough.
How to get to them.
Yeah.
And from there we took some other courses, like dropshipping courses at first before we moved to our business. And from there you basically get the idea of like how to make some profit out of it, because you can't just sell t-shirts without like going minus.
Yeah, and how to probably sell it to the customer.
Okay.
You got
How to
copyright,
present it, yeah.
Okay.
pricing.
Right. So you mentioned something about how to present it. What exactly do you mean by you learn like how to present it? What exactly did you learn in that course?
Yeah, basically that course shows you how the audience is gonna react to that image, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have an example maybe of like, say, so what is it exactly? Do you like compare two images?
Let's say
on
the text.
And
The text plays in very important role in one image, so you have to know where to place it. Yeah, and where to place the image, how to connect all of it, maybe give a little story that connects with the image.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Okay, so once you've learned about that process, what changed from the time you started your business until now? What's been like the biggest change, do you think?
Biggest change.
Yeah, or the biggest learning curve, as you said, for you guys since you started that until now?
Finding suppliers, good suppliers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's been
That's,
a lesson, I would say.
A lesson.
Because we had previous mistakes.
Yeah.
So about this summer collection, we trusted manufacturer from Pakistan, I think.
Yeah, it was Pakistan.
Yeah, and let's say the things didn't come up as we wanted.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sucks. That's always like a terrible thing.
Yeah, it was a big
The quality of the
material.
Of the material, of the fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sizes were awful. Yeah, everything. Even the positioning of the logo.
Yeah.
The patch inside for the sizes, everything was terrible.
Okay.
Terrible work. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So before we move on, maybe to the supplies, we should probably take a step back and look at deciding what you're going to produce, like what items of clothing you're going to produce and what best represents you as a brand. So how did you come up with that? So how did you come up with the pieces from your collections or your first collection? How did you decide, okay, for this first collection, this is what we're going to do and this is why? Or were you just like, yeah?
So our first collection consisted of 3 hoodies.
Okay.
3 hoodies.
3 hoodies.
And 2 sweatpants.
2 sweatpants.
And
some t-shirts.
Basically, we went just for something simple, like that, something that sells, so we can get the ball moving from there.
Yeah.
And
build our audience, basically.
You know, a sweatpant and a hoodie is something very simple, I would say. Like everyone wears them. So we started from there, and we decided on our designs, colors, sizes, first of all, and yeah.
How many collections have you guys done so far? Do you know, or have you just stopped the collection and started producing single items of clothing?
Well, we started with the collection, that we managed to make so many designs and with some other artists and started printing t-shirts and hoodies.
Okay.
And now, like recently, we decided to do another collection with you, obviously.
Thank you guys so much for letting me do this.
Yeah.
I swear they do all the hard work. I just come in and be like, I don't like that color. They do all the heavy lifting.
You got the ideas.
I just come and be like, no, not that color, this color, do that, do this. Sorry, yeah. But yeah, okay, so you've designed the clothes. You're like, okay, now we look for suppliers. I'm assuming for the most part it's like a trial and error process in terms of finding suppliers. So where did you begin? You started your brand, you mentioned, when you came to the UK, right? Like that's when you started actually trying to push it and like do it. Yeah. So where did you begin looking for suppliers? Did you start in the UK or did you go straight to like Alibaba and those guys? Where did you look and how did you settle?
Yeah, first we went into Alibaba and then as we moved on producing our own single pieces like we said before, we went to UK suppliers.
Okay. And which ones have, from your experience, which ones have provided you with more suitable products for the type of stuff you're trying to make and create, do you think? Or has there not been any real difference?
Well, in terms of design, I would say the Chinese guys.
Yeah. No, they're fire.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But in terms of like service and shipping times, I would say UK.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're quick.
Okay.
Yeah. The quality, you might say it's similar. Okay. Depends on what you need.
But it's more expensive.
Yeah, it's more expensive here in the UK.
Okay. What's you guys' favorite item of clothing you've made so far? It's very simple. Did you guys come up with even like the inside as well?
Even on the inside.
Was that the same for you, or is there something else? What do you think?
Yeah, the baguette hat is one of my favorites, but as well these t-shirts.
Yeah.
These t-shirts are.
Yeah. Very simple, clean, fire.
Minimalistic.
That's the whole swag we're going for. I never thought you'd say the bucket hat, actually. I'm quite surprised. Yeah, I thought maybe you'd pick one of... Well, you picked my favorite hoodie, because that's the greatest thing ever in the world.
That's your favorite thing.
That's the greatest thing ever. I wish everyone could wear that hoodie and understand what I'm talking about, but it's the greatest
thing. They have to feel it.
Yeah, they will, eventually, hopefully. It's coming soon. I don't know if I'm spoiling things by saying, but yeah, eventually it'll... If we can get it again. We're going to take a closer look at some of their clothes now. Yeah, we're going to take a closer look at some of their clothes, some of the pieces they produced in the past. And yeah, we'll actually also talk a bit more about our upcoming collection, what you guys can expect, a bit of the story behind it. Obviously, closer to the release date, I'll probably do another video with them, so we can give you a more finalized idea of the direction we're gonna go in. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Let's go take a look at the clothes.
It was a pleasure, bro.
Yeah. My favorite hoodie of all time, not because of anything, but how comfortable it feels once you wear it. It's very thick, in case you're not able
really
to
know
tell.
until you wear it.
Yeah, like you have to wear it to understand why I love this hoodie so much. It's very heavy, very thick. It's like soft and fleecy on the inside too. It's like kinda...
Got the hood.
Yeah. It's very dense, thick hoodie. It looks very nice if you're wearing like a little coat, not even a little, like a long oversized coat, and you have this sticking out. It sits really well. That's why I like it.
Goes very well with bomber jackets.
Yeah, I think that's why I like it the most. I like this hood the most. One, because it doesn't have those annoying strings that just mess everything up. And two, it's also very, it just sits well when you're wearing like as an under hoodie. Because sometimes my issue with hoodies is, well, not this one maybe, but like with hoodies like this, sometimes if you're wearing it underneath something, I don't like it flapping. I like nice shapes.
It don't sit nicely.
Yeah, I like nice shapes and everything. Yeah, I think this is, you mentioned in the video before, this is one of your first pieces. This is the Money Matters hoodie that you'd mentioned. What's the story behind this?
So this is Benjamin Franklin.
Okay.
And it's all about money. This hoodie, it's all about money. Like when you check at the front, the print, my homies always pay the debts.
Okay.
Signed with Japanese letters.
Right.
You know.
Well, what do the Japanese letters say? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of these look Korean. It looks like a mix, especially those ones, but I'm not an expert on Asian languages, so whatever. Okay. Never tried on. Was this hoodie for sale? This was one of your first ones. This was for sale. It wasn't a prototype. What happened down here? I kind of like it though.
Yeah. And
what happened down here?
Was our last one.
Nah.
It's pretty sad.
Ah, shame. Why'd you have Mona Lisa crying on this one? Mona Lisa with a Jabberwockies mask, if you're familiar with the Jabberwockies.
So we made it more scary. Build like an Asian culture, you know, there's trees.
Okay. What about this piece? What's the significance of this piece? Is there a meaning, or is it just you thought it looked cool?
I think it looked cool. It was one of our first.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any pieces? What's your favorite piece apart from the bucket hat that you already showed them? What's your favorite piece?
Take a closer look.
What about this piece makes it special for you?
Well, happiness comes in waves. So in life, that's my opinion, to be honest. So what I've learned in life is that happiness is not always there, but it comes in waves. And whenever it comes, just ride it.
Yeah.
Like, go with it.
Strong. What sort of stuff are you guys looking to create in the future?
I would say cut and sew pieces.
Okay.
Like something totally unique, like from top to bottom, everything.
Just make your own pieces from scratch, essentially, instead of like ordering essentially what are ready-made, and then like printing stuff for yourselves. Okay. But at least, I mean, you guys have like your own, you've got a screen printer, you've got the heat press now, so you're not completely outsourcing the process.
Well, no.
You're trying to be more hands-on with what you do things.
Yeah, we're trying to
be in the process.
Somehow, to check everything is in absolute detail.
Yeah, that's good. Where do you guys see yourself 10 years, 5-10 years from now? Where do you see this brand going?
From 10 years from now?
Yeah, 5-10 years from now, whichever one is more realistic in your point of view.
I would say 5 years from now, like have our first store.
Okay.
Like physical store, not online store.
Would you want that here or back home in Cyprus?
I would say UK, yeah.
Okay. Why UK specifically?
But it's the audience, you know?
Yeah, the market basically.
People are different back home. They're not interested in this kind of stuff. I would say. Maybe there is like a small audience that might be interested, but I would say UK is
it's broader audience.
Fair enough. What has inspired you guys the most during your creative process and then making this brand? What inspired it? Apart from obviously coming over here and seeing, you know, people with different fashion senses and people just being able to express themselves freely. What has really pushed you guys forward and kept you wanting to create more and more things? From the beginning when you started, up until now, what has that motivation been?
One of my motivations, to be honest, it was art, I would say.
Okay.
Art, because like you can express through like a hoodie. Let's give an example of this one. Happiness comes in waves.
Yeah.
Like it has a meaning. Like when you wear this piece of clothing outside, someone passes in front of you and sees this design. His mind like would start walking like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah. Maybe even see the quote underneath and have it maybe create a day, let's say.
Possibly.
Yeah,
I think you guys also mentioned that like music is a really big factor in your creative process.
A big influence.
What are you guys' who are you guys' favorite artists?
Travis Scott. Let's say.
Kid Cudi
a lot.
Facts.
Yeah.
We play a lot of that around here. It's probably the only thing you ever play when I'm here. It's Kid Cudi. Yeah.
Let's say ASAP Mob, ASAP Rocky.
Okay. Sick video.
Cosy Tapes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any style or fashion inspirations in terms of people or brands? Or let's start with brands and then maybe a person, if you have a person.
I've got a person first.
Okay.
Bobby Hundreds.
Okay. Why is he your inspiration, or what about him inspires
the
you?
Hundreds, you know the brand
I'm
Hundreds.
familiar, but for the people who might not be aware.
Well, they started by printing t-shirts, and they went from like printing t-shirts to being like a huge brand worldwide. Got like stores all over the place, Japan, New York, UK, everywhere. They grew so much. So,
Is that what you're modeling Cosy Style after, kind of? So they're
it's just an influence, you know.
Okay. Okay.
Brands.
Brands, people.
Supreme.
Okay.
But I think maybe.
Beast. Are you guys into the more high fashion type stuff? So, you know, Virgil, Louis Vuitton, Raf Simons, Rick Owens,
Saint Laurent.
Okay.
Not so much, but
not so much.
Yeah.
Okay,
we'll
that's
get
fair.
there.
You're more into the street ground level brands.
Yeah, for now.
What do you guys think? So you said you're not that much into high fashion. Why not? How come? Like, what is it for you? What's the big difference between the more streetwear stuff? I mean, it's kind of, the more streetwear stuff and the more high fashion stuff. It might be a bit self-explanatory and redundant, but just in your case, maybe you have a different perspective that you can share on it.
I would say I feel more comfortable in streetwear.
Okay.
Than high fashion.
Basically you express yourself.
Yeah.
Like I would never wear a suit.
Fair.
Never.
Yeah. Then instantly the phrase "the well is dry" just popped into my mind. It wasn't for any particular reason.
Just like that.
Yeah, it was just like a train of thought, like I usually have whenever when I go to bed. It's usually towards the nighttime too. But yeah, instantly the phrase "the well is dry" came to my mind. I was like, oh, that'd be a cool like little thing. I don't know what it meant specifically at the time. I just thought, oh, this would be cool to like see written somewhere. I just don't know if people.
Catchy as well.
Sure, I thought so, but I was like, I thought you guys would definitely like it. I just wasn't sure if it'd be an idea that
can be expressed.
Yeah, it can be expressed, and also if it's an idea people would understand fully if they just saw it written there. Yeah, so I needed to, before I brought it to you guys, I needed to like think about it a bit more and think about what it means a bit more, so I could like, we could build a story that was a bit more holistic and a story that was a bit more intentional and specific as to what it talks about and would inform our approach in this entire design process. So yeah, that phrase came along and I was like, oh, I think this is a cool idea. And then I think actually the first time I met you guys, what I told you I literally made up as I was sitting. I don't know if you realize.
Really?
Like with the whole thing I told you about the well is dry and like sort of this idea of a student that moves or a person that moves away from their country for a certain amount of time and then like goes back after a certain amount of time, and that sort of evolutionary period in between where they're away from home. So
the change.
Yeah, and the change that occurs in that transition between those two periods where that person evolves and they come with different experiences and different, you know, they essentially become a different person. But the only person that really knows what took place between either of those times when they came or when they went before is that person. So like, I came here, I met you guys, but you guys didn't know me before I came here. So for all you know, I could have been an entirely different person before you met me, you know, not saying that I was. Yeah. But, you know, so it kind of was to represent that, and really more specific to us just being students and like that sort of struggle of being a student and that experience and the sort of burden that comes from the expectation from your parents or whoever, you know, knows you're here and whoever brought you here or allowed you to come here for whatever reason, that sort of expectation. Yeah, and then now we're here. Just sort of like built that story. We've been working on building the story, building the like color palette for it.
Finding which pieces are we going to actually make.
What pieces match with the collection, with the story.
Trying to identify some pieces, in and out of possible suppliers also for the type of stuff we're looking for. But yeah, I think that's been it. Well, how would you describe where we are so far? What's your experience been like?
I would say it was eye-opening.
Okay.
To be honest, because, you know, having another guy or girl anyway, whoever it is, like to come here and like sit down and brainstorm and come up with ideas for a collection or even like this story, because for me this story is, it's all about that. It's all about that story, because
something
we
different.
can relate.
Something different we can relate,
Okay.
The biggest change is that we are designing the whole part. I mean, even the small details on the cargo, for example. The on the hoodie, the neckline.
And we're going on full on the quality right now.
Yeah.
That's one of our goals, I would say. Like,
we won't accept anything less.
Yeah. That's one of the main things I think I came into this with as well, was I think I came trying to make sure that the ideas I had meshed with what you guys had already sort of been doing. So even though my style might vary a lot from what you guys typically do, I tried to make sure that the ideas I was bringing weren't too far away from what your brand represented, and which is what I feel a collaboration should do anyway.
Absolutely.
So once we you know, took a step forward from that point, it was all about the quality, like you were saying, and trying to bring the color palette we had together. We've sort of like been going in and out of different colors, because like I feel like, again, I come here every week and I'm like, no, this color doesn't work anymore. Let's try this one. Let's change it. I don't like it anymore. I liked it last week. I don't like it as much this time.
Well, that's how it is.
To
get that.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of also taking your time with something, is you give yourself room for error and room to change things. Because other than when you rush into something and then like you get a product and you're like, I don't like this anymore. I feel like by the end of this process, we're going to get something that we're all hopefully really proud of, and we're satisfied with the final product, because we know how much time and effort went into it and the sort of things that we've, you know, tried to put together to make it work. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, be sure to
like, comment,
and subscribe. Until next time, take care.
peace.